Hello, hello. Getting everything all hooked up. You guys got a little bit of an extra view today. Sorry about that. All right, I'm gonna adjust that light. Perfect. Oh, good, that is less of a glare. Get everything all turned on. We don't want to watch TV right now. All right. Bear with me for just a second. I'm feeling ambitious again tonight. And there we get the sound, of course. All right. If you guys are joining me, drop a quick comment just to say hello. Oh, we got Patsy. Hi, Patsy. I hope you're having a good Wednesday. Listen, my mojo is thrown off because of this holiday. It was a long day today, y'all, and let's try. It's always fun to have a Facebook Live, but let's have like extra fun tonight. I think that sounds like a plan because I had quite a work day. Hello, Karen, and hello, Kristen. All right, I would like this to be a little bit more even. How? I don't quite know. It's always a struggle. All right. Hello, Carrie. And we'll just move these up just a little bit. All right. Like I said, I hope everybody's having a wonderful Wednesday night. Oh, the twins are here. Hello, hello, twins. And the 4th of July might be over. We may have to wait, I think because of the leap years, 365 days until our next one. But I'm still going to create something patriotic today because it is going to fit our July challenge theme of fireworks. And y'all, I have an idea in my head for this one. I think it's going to work the way that I want it to, but stay tuned. So we are going to be using the Judges Panel stamp set tonight. And this was from a release, I think it was from last May or June. And we're going to be using the main judge from this panel. She's fabulous. She's wonderful. She's going to be the Statue of Liberty tonight. And I'm going to turn her into it. And I think it's going to work pretty well. But I haven't really colored out a Statue of Liberty yet. So fingers crossed. But what I want to do first, because I'm going to do a little bit of hot foiling, is I want to work on my scene. And I am in the middle of a thunderstorm at the moment, so fingers crossed we do not lose power, but stay tuned. All right, let me see. Do I have to swipe? Hello and happy Wednesday to you as well. Christian, hello, Dee. I hope you're having a wonderful night. So because we're doing hot foiling, I do want to work on my background first. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, let's grab Salty Ocean. Oh, I didn't grab my ink pad holder. That's okay. I'm just gonna go in, I'm gonna work on a background ombre. And I'm just gonna create a night sky. And I was gonna do some crazy colors, but I want to kind of just stay true to a red, white, and blue color palette. And so I'm not doing a funky sky. The sky is just gonna be blue. And you know what? And I think that's absolutely a-okay. So I'm laying down my first layer. I'm leaving this white. It's gonna get covered up. Actually, a lot of this is going to be covered up, which is kind of sad because I love pretty blended skies. Oh, this is Prize Ribbon. I'm so sorry. So we started with Salty Ocean. Now we're doing some Prize Ribbon. And let's go in, blend this together. Perfect. Next, we'll do some Chipped Sapphire. Oh, what happened over here? My Chipped Sapphire, I put a re-inker on it and it's a little wet. You know what? It's gonna be fine. It's gonna work out just fine. Actually, that's a really nice coverage of it. Shouldn't complain too much. All right, so we're gonna go in with some Prize Ribbon, blend the seam. that. All right, and then we'll go in with some black soot. Just kind of moving my blending tools off to the side. All right, I need my black soot for oxides. Put that right on top. Just like that. Then I'm gonna grab my chipped sapphire and just kind of carefully blend that in. I must have re-inked that a little extra. It's okay. Let me go back in with that prize ribbon. All right, we are getting there. I'm just gonna darken it a little bit with some black soot distressing because that is a little darker than the regular oxide. Just kind of blend that in. I'll grab my black soot oxide and just kind of smooth it out. And then we'll grab chipped sapphire. I always kind of like to move it back out. This is perfect. All right, so we've got a really pretty night sky going. And I'm gonna pull some of those colors in later. Let's go set them off to the side. I'm gonna have to probably do a little bit cleaning in a second, but that's okay. And I'm just gonna do a little bit of water bleaching for my background using just water from my sprayer. And then I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna take just a clean microfiber towel. It's not a Kindred one. I think I put that on my other desk. And we're gonna just pick up that water. Perfect, just get some really nice bleach marks onto our sky. Oh, there comes the rain. I don't know the last time that I crafted during a storm. That's okay. All right, so we're getting this all situated. And then what I want to go ahead and do is I would like to probably start working on some hot foil. Oh, I forgot my rotary trimmer. Darn it, darn it, darn it. I knew I was forgetting something and I see it right there. All right, so I'm gonna get my hot foil machine ready. We'll do some hot foiling in a second. Grab everything. All right. So let's go ahead, put this right here. It's gonna be off to the side, and I apologize about that, but it's here, I promise. All right. So it's all plugged in, it's gonna heat up. I am gonna be using our Warp Speed hot foil plate with some red deco foil hot foil. I think it's called Chili Pepper Red. So let's go in. I don't know if you guys saw, so we had a new hot foil plate come out with the last release called Crowned Plaid. I can show you guys my sample of it that I made in a second, maybe as we're waiting for things to warm up. It's a really pretty pattern and it's got these little crowns, at some of the crisscrosses. It's a really fun sort of way to amp up any projects that might have some royal figures in them. So if you guys haven't enabled yourself to get it yet, I will show that to you. All right. There we go. All right. Perfect. I'll go ahead and put the tape. And then am I missing any comments? No, we are good. All right, and if anyone has any questions while we're crafting tonight, just let me know. I will be doing a little bit of Copic coloring later on, so we can address then any sort of questions you may have about coloring. But for now, it's all about backgrounds. All right, so it's gonna be, I would like to try get this situated the right way, but it doesn't really matter because I'm gonna have so much covered up. I'm just gonna put it like that. And then we'll put this on top of my hot foil plate. Hopefully it looks pretty. I think we should be okay. I hope we should be okay. I hope you guys had a wonderful 4th of July holiday. If you celebrated, it was so weird having it in the middle of the week. I love it when our holidays fall close to the weekend because we all get a nice long weekend out of it. Let me, while this is warming up, I'm going to show you guys my sample of the crowned plaid like I was saying. Just kind of reaching for it, get my whole, oh no! Well, that could have been worse. So this is the crowned plaid sample that I had made, and it's a gold hot foil on top of blue, like a royal blue paper. And you guys can see all those little crowns where some of the crisscrosses meet for the plaid. It's really pretty. I went ahead, after I did it, after I did my hot foil, I went ahead and I die cut it using the card basic set. So this panel is basically ready to be just popped on a card. I don't know who I'm going to use it with yet. I am wondering if I use it with the Lion Prince from the Sherwood set. I feel like it would work really nicely with that. Obviously, any sets that have our princesses in it would be absolutely perfect. You could customize this to really fit the specific princesses. I also think this could be really cool if you were to do like a birthday card for a young girl and do like a black background with a hot pink foil on top. I think that would look really cool. Just kind of like punk princessy. I don't know. Just a bunch of random ideas. I'm sure you will find something that will work for you guys. And thank you so much for your kind words. It really is a pretty background. Ugh, we're just sitting here playing the waiting game for this to heat up. It's gonna take a while. But we could talk also too just about our fantastic June release that I can't believe is almost a week ago, but that was a very fun release to work with. And I don't know if you guys saw my projects. I worked with the Kindred Town adult set. I pulled in from a bunch of existing stamp sets that are not necessarily Kindred Town related, but to really help amp up those scenes. And that's kind of inspired my card tonight as well, because I am pulling in 3 different stamp sets to help create this. I'm using an image from one and combining 2 sentiments from another. And then we're using, I think I counted 3 die sets as well. I have the Cityscape die set. I have the Waves border die set. I also am using the Alphabet die set. So a lot of foiling going on, not foiling, well, I mean, we are at foiling, but a lot of die cutting going on tonight as well. I also too, just to talk for a second, I got these new organizing trays and they are just wonderful on my desk because I can just, when I'm working on something, I can go ahead and throw all my little die cut bits just in a tray. And if you have more than one, they stack on top of each other perfectly. So I am always for trays on my desk. All right, let's go ahead. I gotta hit the button now. And then when that's done, we'll be all ready to start doing this. All right, I saw a couple comments. We have Christian is waiting for your new goodies, and same with Karen. Oh, I'm excited for you guys. I was really excited about the coordinating dies, and I think a lot of you guys were excited for that too. That was a pretty big thing. So I know that it was really exciting because we also used them for the limited edition kit, the Perfect Catch, which I am all finished with coloring videos. So you guys will be able to, those of you who ordered that, once those ship out, you'll be able to get a link to my coloring video for that. And I think that's pretty exciting because I've got all my colors that I listed for my each character listed out. And then I have a fast forwarded coloring tutorial that you guys will be able to use. So Christian would like to just see her desk. You know what? That is a feat in itself, isn't it? All right, we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna get this all die cut. Oop, there comes the thunder. It's okay. So we're gonna go ahead and process this. All right, I think that'll do it. Unplug this. Let's hope that everything came out nicely. I know I've got some red on the back of this. All right. I'm gonna do a peel reveal with y'all in a second. But this is near perfect. So I've got my galactic or warp speed hot foil plate all ready, and I think it's gonna make a really fun sort of focal image. All right, so let's just move all my pieces out of the way. It's one thing, sometimes these plates are just a little hot and heavy. Got this all ready for a card shortly. I think this is really pretty. It turned out very nicely. A couple bits are a little overfoiled, but not too much. We can work with that. All right, and then my thought process is, and that we can work on building this all together. Where'd it go? I wanted to show you guys my die cut. Is that I would be able to use the cityscape die cut like directly on top of it, and then some waves for some water, and then Our Lady Liberty just kind of in the harbor. So we've got some layering and some ink blending to do, but that's okay. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna grab some ink and we can work on this. All right, well, let's do some hickory smoke. I'm just gonna kind of go in, just kind of ink blend this with that hickory smoke color, darken up this. I should grab, there's my block. Oh no, we don't want any creases. All right, that's okay. All right, we're okay. And then I can probably even go in a little black soot just to kind of darken it up down here. And then just kind of lighten it with the hickory smoke. Just like that. All right. Perfect. And then I think I am going to, I don't know, do you guys think that I should cut some little backs to put behind these windows so that way they're not see-through? What are your thoughts? Should we do little backs for the windows? It'll take me a couple minutes to do, or should we just leave them as is? It is such a good die, Christian. I was so excited when I saw that we are finally doing a like cityscape die because there's so many stamp sets that I know this is going to work so well with. All right, let's go ahead. I'm gonna grab, let me see, do I have some yellow paper just sitting around? I think yellow would look nice, like a light yellow. Yeah, some light yellow. I like backs for mine, Karen. I think that a little bit of lights is just nice to have. And there's the lightning. Oh boy, oh boy. All right. So we've got this, so I can cut this. Oh, phooey, I don't have my detail scissors either. What was I doing? Like I said, y'all, it was a long day. Ah. Got one little backing piece. Let's see, this one is already cut to size. It is. All right, so we'll just kind of keep going with this. I'll lay those out. That work over here. If I flip it, it'll work. Perfect. All right. Just gotta remember to go back in for that little piece over there, not forget about it. We are getting there. You do a little bit of just rough measuring. Awesome. I know this is a little finicky to work with, but it's gonna look so nice when it's done. Very excited. There. Trim a little bit more off. Just kind of measuring it up so I can line everything nicely. I'm gonna not do that one, but we will do that one in the middle. So let's go ahead. And I believe this die sold out. However, it is available for pre-order if you want to get your hands on it still. Oh, that's really nice. I like that. Let's see. Hello, Sarah. Thanks for tuning into your first live. Christian goes, you go crazy and have some dark and light and different. Oh, that would be nice. I would like that. Obviously, I didn't do that, but that would be good for a future one. Listen, this is also going to be very nice because this is quicker than putting in like each individual little square. So keep that in mind. Don't go crazy with having to do that. All right, so we've got our city backdrop. Let's go ahead. I think I'm gonna do it about here. I think that'll work. And I can go ahead and adhere all of this. All right. I think that'll work. Just like that. Then I just am gonna go in and trim off my excess. Like that. All right, we are getting there with our scene card, y'all. Part of me is almost wondering if I should bring it down just like a wee bit. Nope, we're gonna leave it, that's fine. Now I gotta grab, where's my water bit? There we go. All right, so the water's gonna sit, we're gonna bring it a little bit lower. All right, and then we're gonna do with the water, where is my ink? We'll start with some Salty Ocean. Let's see, we're just gonna kind of bring it like this. Use that colored cardstock as almost like a base to help amp up the color. And then let's see, we'll go with a little bit of prize ribbon, I think. I don't know if I'll necessarily need to go that dark, but we'll do it anyways. Just kind of blend them together. Just like that. All right. We can kind of just line that up. This makes my card look long. All right. Like that. All right, we are getting there. And I have some gray cardstock that matches the building color that I want to use as kind of like a platform. Creating layers. This is too thick. Let's see. No, I think that might be like, nah, a little thick. I can trim it. I can trim it. Perfect. We'll use this as like a base. Because, you know, there's like multiple layers going on here. So let's go in, let's grab, well, let's wipe this off first. And then let's grab that hickory smoke. Just kind of distress this a little bit. Okay, go in, darken it up a little bit. Just like that. And then I'm gonna go in just with my Lost Shadow blender, just to kind of work at blending these out. Sometimes I don't even ink with my ink blenders. I don't ink them up first. I'll just go in and use them and rely on the residual ink from it. And it works really nicely. All right, let's maybe a little bit of black soot just on the bottom. Just to darken it up. All right, and then we'll go back in with that hickory smoke. It's a vicious cycle of ink blending. All right, perfect. I can clean up some of my tools. And then we'll go in, just put some glue down here. Now we're not done building our scene, of course, but we are making progress. All right. How we all doing? Oh, you guys are so sweet. Thank you, Sarah. It is a lot of depth. It's a lot of layers. The shading adds some good, like you're saying, some good depth to the card. I think that you can see that these warp speed hot foil streaks are really kind of pulling focus towards the center of the card. It's all working together. We'll just say it was all intentional. This is exactly what I was going for because, hey, why not? All right, let me take a water break. All right. And then let's get into some coloring. So, coloring tonight is probably not going to be maybe as exciting as it's been in the past because I'm using a lot less colors. I'm just kind of sticking to one color family. And I think that's okay. It's just got glue on it. Do I have my... Hold on one second. I'm gonna grab my scissors while I'm over here. I got one of these adhesive erasers, and it's kind of nice because when I get adhesive on my, see now I'm using it though, and I'm saying how great it is, and it's taking the top layer off of my paper. So we're just gonna stop. Maybe we'll add some embellishments just to cover it up. That's usually my go-to. Now coloring tonight might be a little less exciting than usual because I'm not using that many colors. We're just gonna color her up like the Statue of Liberty, going for that patina colored. I'm not even going to go for like hair detail like I normally do. So I'm just using a bunch of BGs, mostly BG1s. And I'm just gonna do a very basic color of her. But she is gonna be fierce. Let's do her hairline. I can already tell this was a good choice for color. And I'm just kind of using this darkest color as like, this is where her shadow is. I can kind of be a little messy. Or rather, I don't have to be super careful. Let's use that sort of terminology. All right, just like that. Got all these little bows. So just kind of trace them. Let's do with her hair. Go into each curl. Just like that. Alright. And yeah, let's start with this. Alright, so we're gonna go in. Getting her first layer colored up. Next, let's move on to do some BG15. Her color is definitely going to have some vibrancy to it. It's not going to be like a super rustic-y sort of feel. Not rusty, but like the mutedness, the datedness, the vintage feel. Rustic and vintage are not the same thing, so I apologize for lumping them together. Because rustic is more of like that earthy, westerniness, I feel like. And oh, Karen, thank you for stopping by. I'm glad that you stopped by while you could, and I hope whatever you've got going on for the rest of the night is fun. And the replay will be here for you, of course. You are more than welcome. I've been having so much fun with my latest slew of lives because I've been kind of giving myself more prompts to follow rather than like, let's just make something, which is fun, which I mean, sometimes that's just what I want to do is not have a plan. But it's also fun to go in, use some already kind of existing ideas that we've got floating out in the fan club and use that to put a project together. So, I don't know. I had this idea. She kind of already looks like she should be a statue. So I'm like, this is what we're going to do. I was also browsing the Kindred Stamps website with the theme. I'm like, all right, Fire-werk. Surely there's a stencil. And there wasn't really like a bursty sort of stencil. At least not one that's currently available. So I'm like, so like, let's get a little creative. And I thought that the warp speed hot foil plate was pretty bursty and that we could kind of use that. I have to start coloring up those bows eventually. All right, let's see what's next. BG32. She's getting there. She is getting that good old Lady Liberty patina color going. Also, too, if you guys love this idea for the stamp set, it is on sale for, I believe, 20% off. I believe when it came out, it was $9.99, and it's marked down to $7.99. It's a good reason to go and snag it if you haven't yet. We all love a good sale. But there's also, if you're not so inclined, I know that there are a lot of sets in your stash from Kindred you can use for this style. You could also, okay, like an idea here, not necessarily the colors, all the colors I'm using for her, but maybe if you didn't start with BG18, say maybe you started with the BG13 and then maybe added a couple highlight colors in or some lighter colors of the BG double or triple or quadruple zero. I don't think there's a double zero. This would almost be like a pretty apparition color, you know? Just kind of that good old blue-green spectral sort of vibes. All right. There's an idea. Whether or not we do with it, but all right, we're gonna go in with some BG10. I love the BG10. They're some of my favorites. But I think my love for them is showing because my BG10 is squeaking, which means it may be ready for a refill. All right. Which is A-okay. You gotta do your marker maintenance, especially with your Copics. They pricey. Take care of your babies. I had one of my markers I have to do a little bit of investigating with. My G29, I went to use it over the weekend and it was oddly dry. Not just dry to the point that I'm like, maybe I just need to refill her. Dry to the point where I'm like, she may have a crack somewhere. So I'm going to do a little bit of investigating. I don't pull that marker out enough to feel confident that it's just a dry marker. So we'll see. I haven't had to buy a replacement marker in a while, so I might just be due for one. All right, she is getting there. She's pretty patina green, but we are gonna go in, we're gonna color her again because, now I always like to talk about my coloring habits. I do what I call coloring twice. And that is I color my image once using the colors that I wanna use, mostly all the colors, and then I go in and I use those same colors with minor alterations and I color it again. My reasoning for coloring twice is that when you are working with your Copic markers, we are trying to achieve those what we call color blends. When those markers kind of ombre together and they give you that good old like swoon when you look at it because you can't tell where the seams are, they just kind of go so nicely. And they only work that nicely when your paper is already a bit saturated with the ink. You're not going to be able to get that on dry paper very well. So by coloring it twice, that first go around, I'm basically saturating my paper with ink already. And then the second go around, it allows the colors to move better on top of it. But then, because I color it up twice, I get a really, really nice sort of saturation of color. All the colors get, I'll call it heightened, where they're just a little deeper. And I just love how it looks. Now you do not have to color twice. It takes a lot of time. And sometimes I even dread the fact that I color twice because I know how long it's going to take me to color something. Usually, if I'm coloring up like a human Kindred character, and they've got hair, and their garments are kind of some different colors, it usually takes me about a good 25 to 35 minutes to get my image all colored up. And when you have a card that you want to make that's got 3 people on it, it's just a lot of work in the beginning, but it's always a good payoff. Not complaining. It's BG15. Oh, thank you so much, Sherry. And thank you, Barbara. They're good colors. They really, really are. Okay, when I talk about my crafty supplies, I try not to be that person that like everything I use is something you need to. You know, like, and when I talk about Copic markers, I will be the first to tell you I own every color Copic marker. But I don't reach for them all that often. I know that even though my collection's been complete for probably over 2 or 3 years at the moment, I know that there are still markers in my collection that I have reached for only once or twice, or maybe even less. So you don't need full set syndrome with Copics. If you have it, don't worry. I'm sure you'll use them eventually. But when I like to talk about what color blends and what markers I like, I try to only tell you which ones I really do think you need. And I will say that the BG1s, so like BG10, BG11, BG13, 15, 18, they're really good markers. And I would put them in like my must-have list. So basically what I'm saying is if you don't have them, buy them. Doesn't that sound nice? Just matter of fact, just go out and buy it. If you want them, if you're a Copic collector, because I know some of us, we don't do Copics. We have other means of coloring. Some of us are colored pencil artists. Some of us have other types of markers. I know that there's Arteza markers, and there's Ohuhu markers, and Spectrum Noir, tri-blends. I've heard so many good things. I've thought about getting a set of tri-blends just for when I travel, just so I can color kind of on the go. A little bit of color up there. So whatever your choice is, but if you are building a Copic collection, I do recommend the BG1s. And if you ever have questions about building your Copic collection, just send me a message. I'd be happy to help you. I've got some resources I can point you to. I can go based off of kind of my personal use. I'd be happy to help you out with that. See, you don't have to, a lot is enough, you know? And like, so you don't need, sometimes people don't even need a lot to work with, honestly. You work with what you love, you know? You work with the colors that you know that you're gonna reach for often. Like if you're someone, if orange is your color, you invest in those orange Copics because you're gonna love using them, and using them is gonna make you happy. But you could also be someone that like, I don't really like my blue violets. Like, I don't think I'm going to reach for them that much. Then you know what I say? Then don't worry about it. Maybe there's a couple shades that you really like, but you don't really need the rest of them. Just get those. And maybe one day you find out you want more, so you add to your collection later. Totally okay. Shop those sales with Copics too. Don't feel like you've always got to pay full MSRP on them. All right, Elizabeth, I'm going to read your message once I finish this color. All right. We are getting there. All right, Elizabeth says, that would be amazing. I inherited my friend's large collection, but I don't seem to have the ones you frequently have on these lives. Elizabeth, I would be happy to talk to you about it. Just let me know. I do kind of think that I reach for the same colors often. Like, for example, I always am using the same sort of skin blends or building off of a standard skin blend. So it's like, I have a blend where just get those and you can kind of build yourself into whatever skin tone you need for the most part. I kind of like the way she's turning out, and it's kind of fun to color her in a way that is just so non-detailed in terms of a lot of color. That I don't want to color simple because she's still taking some time, but she doesn't have all of those color combinations like other images. All right, let's finish this off. This is in BG10. Oh, Patsy, what a beautiful color curtain bed. I don't know if I've talked about this before, but we all kind of, even if we don't want to admit it, we all have favorite colors. And I will tell you, in my life, for the longest time, I would tell people my favorite color was red. And then I started to think about it a little bit. And I'm like, favorite color should be whatever color brings you the most joy. I used to like red so much because I loved how it like had that passion sort of emotion attached to it. It was just fiery. It was red hot. It was fierce, you know, really powerful words that were attached to it. And I'm not saying I don't identify that way. However, as I got older, I started to understand that the color that made me the happiest were blue greens, teals, aquas, just those calm sorts of colors that bring like a little bit of peace. I love it. It's so necessary. You know what? I feel like it looks good on me too. So I mean, if I want to be a little vain and say that, I will. Not that red don't look good on me either, but I love my blue greens. Just so pretty. So Patsy, you've got great taste for your curtains by using a color like her. All right. All right. We are almost there. I'm going to check comments in just a second. All right, let's see what we got going on here. All right. Sherry bought some with coupons. I don't blame you. That's basically what I did too. This would be a really good mermaid look. I agree. I do agree. All right, let's cut her out. I'm going to cut her close to her lines, but not directly on it. So just like a very tight white border. Just because if she didn't have those earrings, I'd probably cut her out right on the line, but those give me anxiety to cut around. Sometimes little details like that, I'm like, just leave them. All right, kind of focusing on these little bitty details. Thundering and lightning out. I still have a little bit. Oh, that's a cute idea, Christian. You'll cut them off and then find an embellishment, like a little, probably what, sequin or a little gem from your stash. What a good way to use those too. I love it. She is getting there. I might even go in and add some white accents too, because she's supposed to be, as much as she's a human character, she is a statue. Save your anxiety. Hey, I hear you on that. That's speaking my language. Or just those littlest size enamel dots that come when you buy them. Oh, perfect idea. You know what? I do agree with you, Sarah. For the most part, we don't have too many like crazy detailed images that have to get outlined. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that's never happened. I'm sure if we sat and thought about it, we could be like, oh, but what about this one? Oh, but what about that one? But for the most part, they're not too bad. And at least they're large enough that you can maneuver your scissors around them quite simply. All right. Let me go in. She's all cut out. And also, just so you guys, you probably saw this, I'm not using the Hearing Queer sentiment today. This is just a piece of scrap coloring paper from when I was working on cards with the June release, and it just was part of, I didn't want to waste paper, so that's what I'm saying. Let me go in. Just kind of clean up some of these edges. Da, 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 da. I always use a gel pen for this. Do a little bit by her face, a little bit right there. Perfect. So let's go in. Let's make sure that this is, make sure that the ink is rolling. All right, I think we're okay. We'll just add in a couple details, not too many. Sometimes I feel like when you go a little overboard with details, it could be a little too much. Let's see. Let me do a little bit with her hair. All right. Perfect. Okay. We are getting there. We still have some bits and bobs to do. So she is going to go like right here. We're going to make a little pedestal for her. Of course, she's going to go a little higher. Yes, like that. And then we've got to do our sentiment. Okay. So we're getting there. But I still have some things I want to get ready for her. So let's get... Where's the paper? I had paper ready that I wanted to use. Where did it go? Here it is. All right, so let's see. What size platform does she need? Probably just an inch. And then a little bit of an interior panel too. So we'll do like 1 inch. Can she stand on that? She can stand on that. How tall do we want it? Let's see. We want it about, we'll do 1 3/4 inches, and then we'll do 1.5 inches. No, we'll do 3/4. I changed my mind. All right, let's make sure I got it the way that I want it, then we can fix it. So I'm gonna have her kind of on a pedestal. That's a little tall. Yeah, we need this shorter. We're gonna do, all right, let's see. We're just gonna keep going. If I did it like this. That works. All right, so 1 1/4 inches. And then, let's see, let's trim this as well. So if that's 1 1/4 inches, we'll make this inner piece 3/4 by 1 1/4. 1 1/4? Just so it nests nicely. There's methods to my madness, I promise. Let's see. Perfect. Just to give a little bit of detail. You'd be surprised how it matters. So let's go in. This is that hickory smoke. So I'm gonna blend it out. Some Lost Shadow ink. You know, and it's always, and I'm like, you know what, let's go a little darker. Build up those colors, blend them out. Get just how I want it. I know it seems a little back and forth, but I do that a lot with my ink blending just to get it the way that I want it to be. This one doesn't have to be as clean because there's gonna be, this little bit is gonna be adhered right on top of it. So let's go in. Yep, sorry about that. That's a nice thing about using Distress Oxides is they layer really nicely. Let's adhere this right in the center. That way it kind of gives like a framedness to it, just like a little finished edge. And then let's do, I got a little strip that I could also add. Just to give it a little bit of a platform. no. We got a jumper. Oh, there it went. No, we lost it. That's okay. We'll do another one. All right. Let's see. Let's go in. We're getting there. Let me check some comments, see if I'm missing anything. Oh, I'm not live every Wednesday, Sherry. I'm live twice a month. I try to do one Wednesday night and one Saturday afternoon. And I'll do a little bit more. But I try to post when I'm going live. I know our design team coordinator, Heather, also does a really nice job posting a monthly calendar, which is a great reference point for whoever may be going live that month. Usually it's me and Heather. You get me every month. I'm usually the constant. And then other people will pop up here and there. All right. Let's see. This is just a little like free-handed platform that I wanted to make for her. Just because, you know, like when you go see the Statue of Liberty, it's not just like a statue coming out of the ground. She's actually like standing on like, we'll say like a statue box. All right. All right, we are getting there. So, all right, so she is... Ooh, y'all, she's coming together. All right. So we're not done. We're getting there, but we're not done. I think I'm just going to adhere her directly to it. I was going to put her on foam tape, but given all the layers, I think we're just going to work with this. All right. Let's see. Try to get her nice in the center. Just like that. All right. All right, we are getting there. But we're not done. So we have to make this firework related. And I've got to do a little bit of custom sentiment making. So I'm going to stack some die cuts. Now, when I use the term stack, what I mean is instead of using foam tape with dies, I just die cut it multiple times and then stack those dies on top of each other, adhering layer after layer. What this does when I stack die cuts is it creates that dimension without the use of a dimension adhesive like a foam tape. So it's not like an all the time sort of technique, but think about when you're creating something and you die cut it, and one of the first things that makes you groan is, oh, now I gotta cut foam tape for this little itty bitty piece. That's how I was thinking with these today. So I was going to go ahead and just do some stacking. And we're doing pretty good. I know I'm probably going a little over my hour expectation is what I try to hit, but she's getting there. I've got to do this. I'm going to do a little heat embossing and cutting, a little bit of ink blending, maybe a little bit of, oh my gosh, it's okay. This is basically from scratch, so I didn't really do too much prep work today. I usually do my stacking of sentiments in advance, but I was running a little bit behind. All right. I also love using liquid glue because it gives you a little extra time to kind of push your images around and get them into place. Okay. I'm gonna let those dry before I go. No, we got a jumper. I gotta go put it back. All right, I'm gonna let these dry before I go in and do any sort of ink blending with them. So we'll set those off to the side. We'll do a little bit of heat embossing. Y'all, where did I put my blue paper? Where'd the blue paper go? Where'd the blue paper go? All right, we got the blue paper. All right, so grab my Misty. Now I want to start talking about the different sets that I'm going to be using to build my sentiment. And the first one I'm using is the Yes Queen stamp set. And I just want to stamp out this work. I think some of you might see the direction that I'm going in right now. Oh, Sarah, what kind of glue do you use? I jump around. Right now I'm using Ultra Bond permanent adhesive. I also use Artiste glue from scrapbook.com. I've also used Kindred's got a glue that's sometimes in stock on the website, and I use that as well. I kind of jump around, but right now what I'm using is, oh no, I didn't put that one away. Oh, we should do that before I lose it. But right now I'm using an Ultra Bond permanent adhesive with a fine tip applicator. I hope that helps. All right, Christian says, the biggest thing for me for picking a glimmer machine was what worked with the supplies I had. Fire-werk. Absolutely. That works for you for machines. Work with what works for you. Absolutely. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and heat emboss our sentiment. Go ahead, pick it up, and use some Kindred Stamps embossing ink. This embossing ink pad from Kindred Stamps. Okay, so I bought a second one months ago. Months ago, probably at least 6 months ago, because I was like, this one's gonna run out, and then at least I'll be ready. But this one hasn't run out yet, and I've had this one for, I got this when Audra came out with the very first bout of Kindred Stamps embossing powders, and that was probably 2 years ago. So they last you a long time. Those watermark ink pads by Kindred Stamps are a great investment. Let me grab. All right. I also have switched. Now that I do Facebook Lives, sometimes I start by sitting. When I color, I like to sit. But when I'm starting to get everything else together, I like to stand. Or, at least go back and forth. All right, so let's see. We got some Snowfall embossing powder. Oh, we got to brush a little bit off right there. Perfect. That's all I need to do. And then I can heat emboss the rest. All right, so let me grab my heat gun. Go ahead, just let this dry a little bit, and then we're gonna do a little bit more fussy cutting. Where'd my scissors go? There they are. Then a little ink blending and a little pasting. All right, we're getting there. Wipe off that anti-static powder. Christian says, the weekend I finally switched my embossing powders when I was working on a project. Dino was the winner for a project. Don't know why I never did that before. I did my inks, but not the powders. You know what? Sometimes you just got to kind of work with the things you have on hand, and you got to do just some trial and error with your crafting to find out if something's not turning out the way that you want. There's sometimes multiple factors going on. I remember I once was at an event and I had someone approach me about coloring. And they were like, I want to color decently and I feel like I'm not getting results. Can you help me? I'm like, yeah, okay, what's going on? And so there were just multiple factors that I asked them about and they didn't understand. And I say that in a way that it's like, when we are learning something, we have to be patient with those around us, because you never know what different process or what different part of the process everyone is at. I remember there was a time when I started to craft, I did not understand where people were getting these rectangle shapes that had stitch marks on the ends. And I kept asking people, I'm like, how did you do this? And they're like, oh, it's a die cut. I'm like, what's a die cut? Like, I did not buy a die cutting machine, like a manual crank die cutting machine, for like a good year or so after I purchased anything from Kindred. And I remember like not understanding. I'm like, well, I'm not going to buy a die cutting machine. That's ridiculously expensive. And it is, but I mean, I came to find the error in my ways, but I ended up purchasing this leather tool that was like, it would make like stitch marks. I'm like, oh, I'll just use this. Not a good idea. Didn't work. But we all have to be patient because everybody is learning and not everyone knows what a die cut is. Not everybody knows what coloring paper or Copic safe ink is. So just be patient with those around you because everyone's just learning along the way. That's basically what I was getting at with that. I'm sorry, I kind of took a departure with my story. Let's do a little bit of ink blending and then we'll be ready to put everything together. All right, so I've got some lumberjack plaid ink. I just kind of want to do the bottom of my letters, make them a little darker. Playing with all those red, white, and blue colors. All right. Let's see. One last one. And I just got to do some spacing. All right. What happened over here? My F is just a little lighter than I would like it to be in one spot. It's almost like there's a piece of paper missing, which is probably exactly what's going on, but that's okay. All right. So my sentiment is going to read, "You Betta Fire-werk," because of the sentiment, "You Betta work." And I took the "You Betta" from the Drag Life stamp set. I just have it on a little sentiment bit right there. So it's going to be "You Betta F-I-R-E work. And we're gonna space it all so it fits. Perfect. Now, if I was really feeling the fantasy tonight, I would be using foam tape. We're not using foam tape. All right, so let's go and where is my block? There it is. All right, just kind of use that for some pressure. And then let's build the rest of our sentiment. All right. Let's make sure we spell fire right. We're getting there, y'all. No. I see some comments coming in. I'll get to them in a second. I am writing getting close to the end of my card high. Do it right in the center. Do I have to say? No, we're going to do it right in the center. All right, let's get a card base for her. Got the card base ready to go. She is just about done. Okay. Whew. I said about using some embellishments. Let me see, what do I got? How about some clear, I just got some clear glitter enamel dots. I think that might work nice. All right, we'll put this big one down there. And then let's do, oh no, this one does not want to stick. Where did you go? There we go. Oh my God. You are not wanting to stick to this card. Okay, there we go. Now you're stuck. All right, let's go ahead and add just a couple more. Perfect. That is more than enough detail in my opinion. All right, it's a little overlap on that side, but it's fine. She looks fantastic. All right, let's talk card. Let's check up on, oh my gosh, you guys are so nice. Thank you. I think that this works really nicely for our theme this month, Fire-werk, so you bet a Fire-werk. So let's just go over the different products we use to put this card together. Of course, let me bring it down a little bit. We used the Judges Panel stamp set for our main image, and then we used a lot of different stamp sets and dies to build our scene and sentiment. Of course, we've got the Warp Speed die for our background because it kind of gives a nice firework sort of finish. We use the new Cityscape border die, the Waves die, the Alpha die. We got the work from the Yas Queen set, and then the Betta from the Drag Life set. So I'm loving this. This was fun. I should have made this yesterday when I was at home for the holiday. What a great way to celebrate. But we're all done tonight. So I hope y'all had fun with tonight's live. You guys have been so wonderful. I'm about to make myself some hot dogs for dinner, so I guess the patriotism still continues. But thank you guys so much for being here. I will make sure that I get this all uploaded into my YouTube channel for a replay. And then also I will go ahead and get a blog post ready for you guys too, just so you've got that in case you want to get your shop on or anything. So you've got a reference of everything that was used. So thank you all so much for being here tonight. Thank you, Christian, and thank you I apologize. Thank you, Christian. Thank you, Heather, Elizabeth, Patsy, Dee. You guys were wonderful, and I hope you had fun. I'm glad you guys learned something. Thank you too, Gwen. And if I'm missing anyone, y'all know I forget things, but I will be back. My next Facebook Live is not until closer to the end of the month. I believe it is. The 31st is a Monday. It's not 30th. It's the 29th. I believe July 29th is my next Facebook Live. It will not be about any of the challenge theme. It will not be anything about organizing. It's going to be something fun. I don't know. I'll come up with something. It might be another, what was it called? When I do like a craft your own adventure. So I'm thinking we might do that, but we will see. So thank you guys so much for being here. You guys have been an absolute pleasure as always, and I am so looking forward to crafting with you later on this month. Stay crafty. Don't forget, you've got all month long to make some sort of firework themed challenge. Hey, and like I said, you can focus on fire. You could focus on work. Focus on whatever. Firework. You could use one of the Career Air firefighter sets because they work with fire. Hey, I mean, lots of different ideas for what you can do. But thanks you guys so much. I hope this sparks a little bit of crafty inspiration for you, and I will look forward to seeing you very soon. Goodbye.